Good morning, happy Wednesday. It is October 2nd and it is also Eclipse Day. So today, this is going to be a long video just to give you a little warning here. The eclipse is at 10 degrees of Libra. It is a solar eclipse, making it a new moon, and it is a south node eclipse, making it a place of release, a place that is connected to the past. So it's not going to be the easiest, okay? And I'll give you an example. Last year's October eclipse was also in Libra. It was actually conjunct my midheaven. It took 4 months, but eventually I walked away from my job and started my career completely over by doing this full time. It was not an easy release. It was very difficult. It took things blowing up to get me to finally let it go. And that's kind of similar here. If this is somewhere near a personal placement of yours, you could see something along those lines where you have to let go of certain things that maybe you've been clinging to for whatever reason, probably to make other people happy generally is why you've been clinging to it. It might not be something that is for you, but it's those things that everybody else talks you into. No, you have to do this type of thing, okay? Now, the South Node is a place of release, but we don't release everything about it. Libra energy can be, especially when it comes to the sun in Libra, very people-pleasy, very always playing the mediator, avoiding conflict, playing devil's advocate, playing both sides of the, field on things when you're trying to navigate the world around you. That's what we need to be letting go of. We really need to be finding balance within ourselves rather than trying to project balance into the world outside of us, okay? When you find the balance within, everything else falls into place. And so that's where we're needing to release. Where are you projecting on people in order to keep that balance in your world? Where are other people projecting on you to keep their balance in the world? And I don't think that, I know we talk about it a lot, but I don't think we very rarely talk about what it actually looks like when we're doing it, okay? This is all about self-reflection, okay? The ruling planet of this eclipse is in Scorpio. It's Venus in Scorpio. Venus is in its detriment there, and it is creating this grand trine that's going to be unfolding over the next few days with Saturn retrograde in Pisces, where it is not particularly happy, and Mars in Cancer, where it is really not happy. So this is going to be intense. The emotions in this is going to be intense. These are wide open doors to our emotional states. There are lessons involved. There are boundaries being tested. And there's this need to dig to the bottom of a problem, to really want to find what's wrong, right? To really want to dig into things. And but we're contending with that Jupiter in Gemini that's really trying its damnedest to make sure that we don't get too deep, right? It's trying to keep everything kind of in a jokester level. And this is where you're going to see that projection kind of come in. Anytime that you try to dig into something deeper and somebody brushes it off, or they turn it into a joke, or why are you always so serious type of energy, look at where that's happening. Look at where you're trying to do that to other people as well. If somebody's coming to you with something deep, it makes you feel uncomfortable, so you brush them off. Make sure that you're not doing that. We can't be just pushing this out on everybody else, saying everybody else needs to change, everybody else needs to be better. We need to be better as individuals as well. As far as some of that projection goes, especially with a Libra energy, a lot of times it's about, looks, right? And this is something that keeps popping into my mind, is where I used to project a lot was I would project on other women. I played full-blown pick-me girl. I'm not like other women. I don't wear a ton of makeup. I don't have fake nails. I don't wear fake lashes, blah, 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 until COVID hit. And I was out of these situations where I always felt like I was too much of something or not enough of something else. And I went, wait a minute, what am I doing? Why am I tearing down people who just want to be confident when they look in the mirror? That's all it's about. You want to feel good when you look in the mirror. When you have more confidence, you project that out into the world. There's nothing wrong with that, right? But I see a lot of it in just out in the world around me of tearing down other people for their lifestyles, what they enjoy, how they dress, how they look, whatever. Why do we do that? What is it within us that makes us want to tear down somebody else? Are you feeling like you're not able to be your true self in your situation? You need to change your situation rather than trying to project that onto other people. I hope that makes sense there. But that's really what we're looking at here, is making sure that we are being honest with ourselves. We are not people pleasing. We're not trying to project our personal balance out into the world around us, and instead we're trying to find it within ourselves. And we are removing from ourselves from the situations, people, places, things that don't allow us to be who we truly are. That's really what this nodal axis has been about all along, okay? So really throughout this time, Mercury is sitting there with the eclipse, so this is about conversations and thoughts, and again, Jupiter being in a Mercury ruled sign in Gemini, trying to keep everything lighthearted. Pay attention to where you're being shut down, you're being brushed off, you're being laughed at, you're being told, oh, it's not that serious, or where you're doing that to others as well. It's going to be really, really important during this time, because this is where our boundaries are being tested, our emotional boundaries. There is definite potential for angry outbursts here. Mars is kind of in a loose square to this eclipse, so trying to stand up for yourself could definitely be met with some backlash. Make sure that you're in a safe position if you are not, because Mars can get quite feisty in Cancer when its emotions are kind of shaken up. So really over this next week, think about, pay close attention. In fact, I just finished watching Kevin Can Fuck Himself. It's on Netflix. And it is the prime example of that, always being brushed off, always being put down, always being degraded, and how that builds up in somebody to a point of anger and frustration, especially when you feel like you can't get out of the situation. It's just never a good way to treat somebody else. If someone has something important to talk about, even if it makes you uncomfortable, sometimes you got to sit with it, okay? So, energy of the day here. Six of Pentacles. This is very Libra energy. This is another form of projection that Libra tends to go towards, is I'm not feeling quite right inside of me. I don't want to deal with it though. So I'm going to go try to make everybody else feel good. I'm going to go give to somebody else. I'm going to help somebody else instead of helping myself. Okay. So there is this energy here of wanting to help others, which is not necessarily a bad thing, unless you're helping others in order to avoid your own problems, or in order to make yourself look good because you can't quite feel it because you don't feel good, type of thing. The more at peace you are with yourself, the less you care what other people think. I'm learning that lesson very quickly lately. But there is definitely this energy of trying to project kindness out in the world because of not being kind to yourself. What we're focusing on here is the Seven of Wands. And as you can see, she is looking towards the Six of Pentacles. Have that guard up. Have that guard up against the people who are trying to help you. Have your guard up against the people you're trying to help. Make sure that you are protecting your peace in this. Maybe you're in a vulnerable situation. Maybe you're having a hard time and there's somebody else around you who, instead of working on their own self, they're going to come along like, Captain Save-A-Ho, and here, let me fix it for you, right? From personal experience, that never ends well. When somebody is trying to come in and yes, you want to take help. You don't want to be afraid to ask for help. You want to take help, but make sure that the intentions behind that person giving you help is honest and pure and not in a state of playing on a vulnerability or trying to ignore their own vulnerabilities, okay? So you got to make sure that whoever it is that you're dealing with, or you yourself, are being honest with yourself, or they're being honest with themselves, and they're not just trying to come in and avoid their own problems by taking care of yours, okay? What we are avoiding is the Empress. Now you're going to hear a lot about how this eclipse is, it's a new moon, right? So that's when we plant our seeds. These moon families are 27 months, right? So from the new moon to the last quarter moon, you see the like the harvest moment, the full growth of your intentions around the full moon, which is 18 months later, so a year and a half. So what we do is we plant a seed at the new moon. A year and a half later, we see how everything worked out, okay? But this is a south node eclipse. So this is not a time to grow something new. It is a time to release, right? Especially with that Pluto being retrograde in Capricorn, we are releasing a lot of stuff right now. We need to be letting go, not trying to build new right now. On the bottom is the Chariot. So there is this underlying energy of like, go, go, go. I need to do something. I need to get something done. But again, make sure that you're taking that time to slow down and checking your boundaries, making sure that you're taking care of yourself and that you're not allowing other people in that are trying to take advantage of a situation that you may be in, and that you're not doing that to others as well. Okay. Clarifiers for our Six of Pentacles. Boy, they jumped out real quick. Seven of Pentacles and Two of Swords. All right. This is, this is very like, maybe you feel like you've done a lot of work, right? And now you're in a position where like you've got to make a decision, a little crossroadsy kind of moment. It's almost like you want to share, right? Now this can also be you're trying to help people that don't want to help themselves. That can be very draining on you as well. So, like there's work that you need to do on yourself. You know that there's things you need to change. There's things that you need to let go of, things you need to get rid of out of your life, right? And you're at a crossroads here. Are you actually going to do that? Or are you just going to try to go help everybody else instead of helping yourself, okay? Clarifiers on our Seven of Wands, please. Maybe. So, and I want to be real clear about this whole like projecting on people thing, because this is something I see everybody does it. I don't care who you are. We've all done it somewhere in our life. But like, say somebody enjoys something that you think is stupid. That's not your problem. You don't need to laugh at them or make fun of them or tear them down for what they enjoy, right? Life is hard. Let people enjoy things. And it's something that I see a lot of people do. They just always wanting to tear other people down for whatever. Maybe they like sports and you think sports is stupid, whatever. Let people enjoy things. If you are feeling like you have to tear other people down just for doing things that make them happy, then you need to look at yourself and ask yourself why. Where is it that you're not allowed to be happy? Where is it that you're in a situation that other people don't let you be who you are, okay? So our clarifiers for our Seven of Wands is Eight of Pentacles and the Tower. So again, Seven of Wands, we want to make sure we have good, strong boundaries. Focus on your boundaries because you have stuff that you are working on. You have things that you've been trying to build, things that are really... I'm feeling like a little things that you're passionate about. Maybe something that you're really wanting to see in your life. Again, there's Pentacles. We've got Seven of Pentacles over here where we're making those adjustments in the energy. We know there's adjustments that we need to make. And now we're looking at the work that we're doing with those adjustments, right? Make sure that you're guarding what you're doing and you're not allowing other people to come in and tear that down, especially if this is like your inner work. If you've really been doing that work on yourself, don't let other people's projections stop you from continuing that, okay? And there's something here in protecting yourself, in having those boundaries that might show you where other people aren't real fond of you having boundaries, especially if you're someone like myself who has a history of not having very good boundaries. you end up getting a lot of pushback. You end up getting torn down an awful lot. As soon as you start standing up for yourself, when people are used to you just giving up and doing whatever they want, that's when you start seeing people say, oh, there's something wrong with you. What's wrong? You've changed, blah, blah, blah. Don't let that get to you, okay? Having these boundaries is going to show you, it's going to bring that like awakening moment of knowing who belongs in your space and who doesn't belong in your space, okay? Clarifiers for our Empress. Why are we avoiding the Empress? Maybe. Okay, we have Strength, probably because these releases we're doing are going to be very difficult. Yeah. Strength and Ten of Cups right here. So right now we're in a space where we need to be strong in what we want. We need to be strong in what we're trying to build in our lives. With those boundaries, making sure that we're keeping all of the, keeping our bubble safe, basically. You've really got to be able to stand your ground in order to keep your peace, in order to keep that like emotional fulfillment, that completion that you're really working on. Right now, instead of working on growing something new, growing this, we're in a space where we need to defend it, right? We need to make sure that we are standing our ground and being strong. We have Two of Cups on the bottom here. So this is all about relationships, partnerships, close friendships, emotional attachments to other people, where you may find yourself having to let go of people that you thought were there for you. So really pay attention to the energies around you over this next week, really, where you're starting to see who's there for you, who's not really there for you, who's really supporting you, who's just tearing you down. And the worst part about that is oftentimes that energy that is tearing you down comes across as helpful, right? It comes across as kindness. Oh, I'm just trying to help you, but it's not really helpful. It is destructive. So really keep that in mind as you're going through. Don't let kindness fool you into thinking that it's right for you. Just because they're being nice about it doesn't mean that it is right for you. Just because somebody's a good person doesn't mean that they're right for you. But definitely over these next several weeks, months even, because eclipses really start a chapter. They don't generally like pop off right away. It's a new beginning, and it starts a chapter that will unfold over the next several months, 6 months, until the next eclipse season. So really take the time to relax, to breathe, pay close attention, make sure you have good, strong boundaries, and you're really looking for projection, not only from the people around you, but for how you are projecting on others as well.